Hi, folks. This is Rich Palazzo again from Thinking Accurately Education. And we've been reading through our book, The Bible, Christianity, and American Government. And this week we're up to Chapter 4, God's Plan for Self-Government, Then and Now. In the last chapter, we talked about Noah and Nimrod and how people got together to disobey God and build a centralized empire around their Tower of Babel. Soon afterwards, God thwarted their ambitions and scattered the tribes, with the children of Japheth heading off toward the north, the children of Ham heading toward the south, and the children of Seth spreading out through the Middle East. Some people have even gone so far as to say that Noah himself headed east and founded ancient China. The book of Job, considered by many to be the oldest book of the Old Testament, seems to recall what had happened to Nimrod's ancient empire. This is from Job 12, 19 through 20, and 24 through 25. He, God, leads princes away plundered and overthrows the mighty. He deprives the trusted ones of speech and takes away the discernment of elders. He takes away the understanding of the chiefs of the people of the earth and makes them wander in pathless wildernesses. They grope in the dark without light, and he makes them stagger like drunken men. The point here is that man, us, we, no matter how smart we get, no matter how advanced we become, can never be smarter or more powerful than God. And thankfully, he is good and kind and wants the best for us. A case in point may be observed in the book of Jonah. The people of Nineveh, that's back in the Neo-Assyrian Empire, had become cruel and ruthless and were threatening the nation of Israel. So God was not happy with them. So what did he do? Did he send down fire from heaven to consume them? No. Instead, he sent them a prophet named Jonah to warn them. And this is what God said to Jonah about the city of Nineveh, which coincidentally had been part of Nimrod's ancient empire. Should I not pity Nineveh, that great city, in which are more than 120,000 persons who cannot discern between their right hand and their left, and much livestock? That's from Jonah 4:11. And Benjamin Franklin once said, "I have lived, sir, a long time, and the longer I live, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth, that God governs in the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without his notice, it is probable that an empire can rise. Is it probable that an empire can rise without his aid? We have been assured, sir, in the sacred writings, that except the Lord build, they labor in vain that build it." I firmly believe this, Franklin wrote, and I also believe that without his concurring aid, he was talking about the young United States of America, we shall succeed in this political building no better than the builders of Babel. That's from Benjamin Franklin from the Constitutional Convention of 1787. But some people are no longer impressed with the ideas of Benjamin Franklin or of Thomas Jefferson, or for that matter, Plato and Aristotle. One evolutionary psychologist and cultural evolutionist named Steve Stewart Williams, PhD, writes, "In a certain sense, Today's preschoolers are smarter than the greatest thinkers of the ancient world. Well, this is the kind of thinking that leads people to say things like, we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. That's from Barack Obama, from a campaign visit in 2008 to Columbia, Missouri. Back in ancient times, God chose Noah to build the ark and save the human race. But only a couple of generations later, it was Noah's grandson, Nimrod, not Noah himself, who built the first empire and set himself up to lead it. Benjamin Franklin would have called what Nimrod did to be laboring in vain, in vanity, in the idea that Nimrod was smarter, better than the people around him. There is something called elitism that is defined as the attitude or behavior of a person or group who regard themselves as belonging to an elite, like Nimrod. Why is elitism so prevalent? Well, one source I found says Abraham Lincoln's dream of governance by, of, and for the people has mutated into a deathless trope emanating from megaphones in the hands of charlatans, Philistines, and fools. That's from Salon, dated October 25th, 2015. So, how did these elite come to power? We put them there. My favorite president was a man named James A. Garfield. And he once said, now, more than ever, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption. If it be intelligent, brave, and pure, it is because the people demand these high qualities to represent them in the national legislature. If the next centennial, he continued, does not find us a great nation, it will be because those who represent the enterprise, the culture, and the morality of the nation do not aid in controlling the political forces. That's from James A. Garfield, the 20th President of the United States in 1877. If the people who are running any particular area of our culture, whether it's government or media or higher education or whatever, if they have values that are different than ours, we have a responsibility, a duty, to do something to rectify the situation. And if we don't, we are accepting it. We are, in effect, saying, this is the type of culture I deserve. Well, is it? We are very fortunate to live in the greatest republic, the freest democracy that has ever existed throughout the history of the world. And we do not have to see it fall into ruin. Let me leave you with this quote from Richard Maybury, also known as Uncle Eric. Perhaps more, he writes, perhaps more than anything else, we should assume humans have the ability to overcome their problems and move forward. One of the most noteworthy characteristics of America's founders is that they were aware of their own world, and indeed their own characters and personalities were not the best that humans could do. They worried about slavery, poverty, and war, and wanted something better. More importantly, he writes, they knew enough law and economics to believe something better was possible and that they were working toward this goal. But they were not utopians. They realized a perfect society is not possible. They knew we could do much better, though, and they were trying to create the legal environment that would enable this to happen. The belief that a better tomorrow is possible, he continues, is absolutely essential, not only for the rescue of our country, but for the mental well being of the individual. Young people need it desperately. However, we need to visualize this better future. That's from Richard J. Maybury in a book called What Would Thomas Jefferson Think About This? And he wrote that in 1994. Folks, I just want to thank you for listening to our YouTube channel. I want to let you know that we're also available on a podcast, and we have a blog, and we have also written another book, a second book, on worldviews. This is all available, and you can check us out on thinkingaccurately.education.com. Thanks. Have a great day.